Hey gamers, I have another build video for you this week. This is the library for the University World Brightchester. I called it Grindwall Library because I had just finished watching Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald and had the name Grindelwald stuck in my head, and it manifested into Grindwald, so I went with it. The preview you just saw was for the first rendition of this library build, so as I'm going through, I'm only using the base game and the game pack that the world came with. In this case, Brightchester is from Discover University, so I'm only using base game and Discover University. I've taken it upon myself to rebuild The Sims 4, and I had already started, and as I decided to start recording, I have to go back and rebuild all of my previous versions because they used all the packs. So as you go through, if you do watch all of my other videos, you'll see that in Brightchester I typically already have a building set up or a layout set up because I have already built the entirety of Brightchester. And I liked the way this building looks, so I kept it. It's also a build challenge on my profile. If you want to challenge yourself, have at it. So a little bit about this build. When I was first building it, I wanted an extravagant building, so I looked up some in real life libraries, literally just putting library buildings into Google Images, and I found one. I'll put the picture here. So I based this build around it heavily, as much as you can in The Sims 4 at least. Now in the photo there's windows absolutely everywhere, and that doesn't compute well into The Sims 4, especially with what I wanted to do on the second floor. First floor for Americans, I would be calling it the second floor, as I wanted to place the bookshelves along all the walls in rows like a real library. As you can see, I'm currently going through and redividing areas, especially since in the first build I forgot to put in bathrooms until the very end. I actually had to take out a section of the first library to put in bathrooms, and there are only 2 bathrooms on one floor, one male and one female, and they were on the second floor. So it was the first thing I changed when I started to rebuild this, and I ended up putting one bathroom and an extra parent's bathroom on the first floor or the ground floor, and leaving the bathroom on the second floor. I also changed up the staircase as it was throwing me off in some places and really annoying me, so I centered it better before adding the first floor bathrooms on either side of the first floor, and then I also made the second floor bathrooms a tiny bit smaller and added all the doors. To me, my favourite feature and one of the standout features of this build is the third floor. Well, it's technically the 4th floor in The Sims, but it's the 3rd floor to me. Top floor. We'll call it the top floor. It's a full floor to ceiling windowed study rooms with extra seating on a diagonal overlooking the city. It is stunning. There is no support, so personally I wouldn't go up there, it would terrify me, but that doesn't really matter in The Sims. Support beams are a figment of Sims' imagination. We don't need them. Plus, it looked a little weird, so I omitted them. Sims don't care about support beams. I did, however, attach beams to the overhanging second floor though, because it added to the look. And I sorted out how I wanted the stairs to be, and as you saw, I took out the archways for columns and spandrels. Now as I'm going through, I'm just touching up the outside of the building, making sure everything is either base game or Discover University, and I went around and replaced all the columns and chose the style of columns I wanted. I also went and redid all the outside seating areas, the little gardens, as I really liked them. Then I went and repainted all the walls and floors that needed painting inside. Now, have fun watching me try and figure out how to divide the top floor over and over again. And I did eventually figure it out, and you may see me from time to time making sure that the build is only base game Discover University, because I had so much trouble trying to figure out what items were other game packs when I was doing a different build, so I always check now. I then started to decorate the top floor, putting tables with chairs in each room and having couch seating everywhere else. Then I started on the rows of bookshelves on the second floor. This was so much fun. I then lit up the first floor and started on the G front desk, which took me a while. I actually had to look up my original build to see what I had done and then try to replicate that again. and I got annoyed at the small gap at the bench before getting over myself and moving on to decorate the front desk area with chairs, computers, books, papers, and writing instruments. I then moved on to figure out where to put the small reading section on the first floor just to fill up some empty space before moving on to the kids' corner. I quite like the kids' corner. I made it in my first build, so I had to take out all the non-base game and non-Discover University items and wallpapers, and remade a very subpar version of the kids' corner. And I clumped all the kids' chairs together because normally in real life they would have them against a wall, like stacked on top of each other. You just take them as you wanted them. So I tried to replicate that, but you can't really like stack them very well in The Sims 4. It doesn't look right. So I just spread them out over the floor. I then put some toddler toys around and called it a day, moving on to set up the parents' bathroom. And as you see, I put in some toddler potties as well as normal bathroom items. I then start to fill up the rest of the bathrooms on all the floors and some details like waste bins and other seating before setting out the desk/computer areas on the second floor. So on one side of the floor it's designated for computers and research computers, while the other side is desk and chairs for study purposes, and I also added in some chess tables. And that is the build. I hope you guys liked it. It's up on my Origin profile, both this version and the original version. My Origin ID will be in the description, and I hope you guys liked it. Catch you gamers next week.